All right, cool. I think it's recording now. Just to get started, this is like my first ever episode of my podcast that I'm trying to start. It's kind of just started off um, on a wing, so there's no name for it yet. Even there's no name for it. I'm kind of just gonna go with the flow. Um, but yeah, first ever episode, we're gonna have Carlos here on the podcast. We're gonna talk about you, man. We're gonna figure out you. We're gonna let you talk about what you want to talk about.
All right. So what's
First
up?
things, bro. First things first. How have you been, bro? Because I haven't seen you since junior year, right?
Sophomore. Since
Wait,
sophomore.
was was sophomore chemistry?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But
Wait,
like
bro. It's
three
because I
years.
don't 3 years. It's because I don't even remember what happened. Like, because I know I moved from Kearns the end of senior year, but did you move too?
Yeah, I moved the end of sophomore year.
To
Mhm.
where?
To Horizonte. It's an alternative school downtown.
Oh, the one where they just like hella help you get your credits and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I went
Yeah,
there
because I
for.
had some friends there, and they said it's pretty not easy, but it like gives you step by step. Like this is how you can get your diploma.
It's a cool school. It's
Was
wild.
it better than Kearns? You think?
Honestly, I think the teachers there are better than Kearns because like at Kearns, I feel like it's so like feels like a dictatorship with the teachers. They feel like they're like higher than everybody else, I guess. But like at Horizonte, like for example, you don't call a teacher by their last name. You don't say like Mr. or Mrs. You call them by their first name. And I feel like
Mm.
that builds like a better connection between the student and the teacher because it feels like it doesn't feel like they're like so higher up than you. It feels like, you're on the same level and like it's easier to connect with them. And I like that about that school. And they seem to actually care. So
So in class, like if you had a question, you'd ask them by their first name.
yeah, yeah. You'd be like, Kenny,
So I'd be like, "Hey,
like
Carlos."
yeah.
Damn. Wait, and then is grades in that school the same as like any other high school? Like you have
Yeah.
assignments you need to do and boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
it's everything's the same. It's just there's more terms. There's like 8 terms in like a semester, I think. There's like so many
Eight
terms. Like
terms.
they're all mini terms. That's what they call them there. And that's why we get credit so quick because we go through them like just really fast.
So
You
our
get
midterm is like your term, basically.
kind of it's like I think like some terms lasted like 2 weeks there. Like, it was like
Damn.
it was quick. You get 12 credits a year there if you pass like 12 credits a year. So you could have not gone to school your freshman and sophomore year and graduate your junior and senior year just by going those 2 years. It's cool.
So you could finish the schooling like faster than usual school.
Yeah.
Is the teaching there like the things you learn? Is it just the same as currents where it's not really what you need, like math and stuff?
But the teachers there are more like they're chill. Like they're cool. They'll teach you what they want to teach sometimes. They're like they act like your friend, really. They'll cuss at you like the students cuss at the teachers all the time, like it's like
Dude,
why it's like a jail there. Like we act like we're in jail. But yeah.
yeah, but like like just from hearing about it, like you explaining it, I think why can't they do that for every school? You
No,
know?
there was no dress code either, and I felt like that was like cool. Like, why does it matter if someone wears a hat? I don't know why Kearns like enforce that so heavy.
We like none at all, like no like spaghetti straps, no bullshit like
It
that.
was my first day there. I remember seeing about 4 pregnant girls, like 9 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant, like huge, wearing crop tops, like just showing up, and
That's a
nobody said anything.
Dude, I don't understand the dress code though. Like, cause like when I was in junior high, that's when I first understood like, oh, what a dress code is, blah blah blah. Like they'd stop girls in our junior high for just wearing like like shorts that were above your knee or like spaghetti straps, and it's like us boys, like we don't really care, you know. Like at the end of the day, we just kind of do us.
It's BS, honestly. It doesn't make sense to me.
I
Yeah.
mean, so you went there after the end of sophomore year, and then you graduated just like the like normal, just the end of senior year, stuff like that.
At the end, I graduated a little bit earlier. I graduated January 2020. And yeah,
Okay, okay.
then
What's your plans now? Like, what are you up to right now? Are you working? Or are you thinking
and
of
I'm
going to
going to
school?
I'm going to Slick, majoring in psychology.
Did
Trying
I?
to.
Dude,
Yeah.
me too. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much people that I know that are just going into psychology.
Yeah.
And it's like it just feels good to know that I'm not alone. You know, I can
Yeah, I
ask
know.
you for homework and stuff.
Psychology is really cool. You learn so much. It's crazy. Really like it. It's interesting.
See, if I had the choice, like when I first graduated, I think I would have gone to Slick because it's cheaper and you just have to do your gen eds and then it's just easy to transfer,
Yeah.
you
Where you go?
know? Right now I go to the U.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, so I had to take out some loans to pay
Mhm.
for the first semester. But because I took a gap, I came in spring. This is my first semester here. And yeah, so I take out some loans. But the crazy thing is, um just recently I got my tuition refunded and I was like, oh shit, like did I fail the class? Like did they kick me out? But then I realized that I got this the scholarship, the 4-year scholarship thing that they're offering.
Oh
Oh
wow.
shit, that's fucking
That's
crazy.
cool. Good job. I'm proud of
Thanks, man. It's just, well, like now I just gotta pay off the loans that I kind of accidentally
you.
took out.
But then I'm proud of you though.
But if you want to look into it, are you thinking of going to Slick and then transferring?
Y- I think so. Haven't thought about it too much, but I feel like if it gets to that point, yeah, I'll do it.
There's out of state too. Are you thinking about that? Just to explore
Uh,
different shit.
I I might move to Cali soon. I'm not sure yet, but I might end up going to college there. But
Cali, like
hopefully,
you and your family, or just you? Like you moving to Cali?
just me. Um, but I kind of like want to try trying to see if I can make it in art first because I really like art and it's harder. It's not the ideal career path, but I mean it's fun. I like it.
I mean, I see your art on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, I folk with it. Wait, but are you just planning on doing it on paper, or are you thinking of
My
like online too?
my main goal is to do tattoos. I want to be able to get to do good tattoos. My cousin does tattoos. He said he would help me learn how to do them. But right now I just want to build up my portfolio with my art and see what I can come up with now and then eventually transition into tattoos. Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen from your work, man, I feel like it's gonna be pretty easy to transition.
Hopefully.
But Cali, wait, so is that just a personal choice for you that you just want to move there?
I feel like I my sister wants me to go move over there with her because things at home aren't good still. So she just kind of wants me to get out of it and I feel like it's maybe a good idea. So
And if this does um, go through, are you thinking of doing it this year after you
uh
finish school, or
well, I'm only doing school online right now, so it wouldn't matter if I went now or not. It's just online, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I would want to this year because it's too soon, but eventually.
I mean, honestly, if it works for you, wait, but is it still hard at home? Because I know you live with your little brother, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but is it still hard for him too, or is it
Oh yeah,
only
it's hard
hard
for
for
both
you?
of us, and I don't know if I would want to leave him because it's it's a bad situation, but I don't know. You know how it is. I feel growing up in a Hispanic household where they have old school views of like just everything, it's like harder to like kind of like grow into who you want to be because like they kind of like want you to be a specific person. I feel like growing up, like they want you to be like this manly man, like just their ideal, like, and but I don't know, it's just it's complicated.
Is your household religious or
Not really,
you're
honestly. It's
not
just
really?
very like old school conservative type of thing.
Mm. And your brother's how old again?
He's like 12, like 12.
And I'm guessing they're harder on him too because they want him. Because like, wait, but is he the youngest?
Yeah, they're not
No.
as hard on him. I feel like they they're good with him, but like he sees what goes on like with me, like how they treat me and how like shit happens with me, and I feel like that's what's messing him up more. Just seeing all that happen, and um,
See, that's the thing that I don't understand too. Because like in Hispanic culture, I feel like there's this generic, basic way of how we're supposed to act.
yeah,
And even in households where it's like they want us to be just cut edge what they want us to be, like they give like they try to live through us. And like how hard is that on you personally?
no, yeah, it's hard. Like you said, they try to live through us. Like they kind of just want they're like it's like when like a dad forces their kid to like do things that they like and like forces them to like live out their dreams that they couldn't live. And it's like kind of that type of thing. Like they want you to be what they couldn't be. So like I feel like that's hard because you want to be your own person. You don't want to like
Mm.
you want to do what you want to do. So it's kind of hard when someone else is like forcing you to like be something else. Like um like being gay, everybody wants me to like do makeup or like do hair and like things like that, and it's just like it's not what
Mm.
I want to do. Like that's like a stereotype, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just in media alone, just in shows and like social media, it's like they kind of portray gay people in this stereotype,
Yeah.
as in like feminine, only feminine. Do you think with all the things you got going out at home, like, do you think that shaped you to be more you?
I think so because I spent most of my time trying to hide it. But yeah, I think so. But like I feel like I'm not really more so like feminine or masculine. I feel like I'm like just both. I
Just
don't know.
fluid? You kind
I
of
feel
just
like I'm
move through
just
both?
myself, you know?
Uh, uh.
But it does suck that like there's like stereotypes, like I don't like seeing when like they portray Mexicans as like, like sombreros and like things like that. Like there's more to a person. With gay people, I feel like some people think it's like it's just a preference. It shouldn't be like a person's whole personality. Like it's just a
Mm.
part of what a person is. Like me being gay, it's like it's not everything that I am. It's like just a small bit of the bigger person I am. And people don't see that. It's kind of hard.
I think that's like completely true because when you hear things about people or you want to talk about someone that you don't know, you're like, oh, it's that one kid with the glasses, or that one kid
Mm,
that I don't know skates or something. And it's like we kind of put people in boxes over what they like.
mm,
And my whole life I was scared because I was like, I don't want to do one thing and then have people put me in a box. Because
yeah.
people are way more complex than most people think.
No, yeah.
Like like personally, I have this attitude where if I'm mad, I'm mad.
Mm,
But then I also have this side of me where it's like I'm like gentle and nice and empathetic. And it's like
mm,
if you saw me only in this angry mode, you think of me as like a monster. And but if you saw me on this mode, you'd be like, oh, he's just a pushover, you
What's
know.
sad about that though is like if somebody were to see you like in that angry mode, they would only think of you as that person. Like people will completely ignore everything good you've done and just focus on that one time that you were just angry. And I feel like that like defines a person, but I don't know why people define a person like that based off like you are not your worst mistake, you know?
Exactly. So there's like there's things that people do, and even in life personally, like what I've gone through, there's people that have done me wrong. I've done people wrong,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like we're all just human, like we just make mistakes. But as long as we like can look back and be like, oh shit, I made that mistake, but I'm gonna put that behind me. I'm gonna learn from it.
Yeah.
Then it's good, you know.
Yeah.
And Sally, I feel like so much. I'm not say teens, but I'd say like everyone in general in the society, they kind of can't forgive themselves or other people. Like forgiveness is gone now. Like it's either like it's like now it's just
People go for
I
revenge.
don't exactly revenge.
It's revenge.
But then like what do you think is better? Like do you think revenge has its pros or do you think
Well,
you should always forgive?
and I've done both. You know, I've forgiven and I've done my revenge. And honestly, I feel like depending on the person that you're dealing with, revenge can be hard because it could just be a cycle. You can do your revenge on that person and then they'll come back and do something and then it just keeps going back and forth. It's like a never ending cycle. So I feel like sometimes it is good to forgive, but just don't forget. And it's like cliche, but like when you forgive somebody, don't put past what they did to you because that can always come back and happen again. You know, like it's just got to be careful.
What do you think they mean when they say don't forget? Like do you think keep it in your mind forever or keep it in a place where like you can pull it out whenever you need to pull it out type of thing?
Not necessarily like not like bringing up someone's past. Like if you're talking to someone like, nah, remember when you did this? Like not that, but like more so like just remember the experience and what you learned from it and prevent that from happening. Um, the same way like they teach us history in like school, I guess they teach us so we don't repeat the same mistakes that we did because like we learn it and then it's like okay that didn't work back then so we can't do that now. um so I feel like that should be the same way like when somebody like does you wrong, like you should not forget what happened because you don't want that to happen again.
Do you believe in forgiving someone if they took revenge on you? Because personally, I feel like it's easier to forgive when someone's taking revenge on you. Because it's like I understand why you did that type thing. Because I fucked up,
Mhm.
like my
um
hands aren't clean.
I mean it's you could get I guess it would be like getting even with somebody like okay now we're even like there's nothing like we settled it but um sometimes like some situations can be like harder than others to like handle I guess so like how do I say it? I don't know, I feel like it depends on how they get the revenge. Like there's some things that aren't forgivable, there's some situations that just cannot be like made up for and it's just like something that should be just cut off completely.
And what's those circumstances to you?
It could be anything. Some situations for certain people can be like worse for others. Like how my best wouldn't be the same as someone else's best. Your best wouldn't be the same as someone else's best. It's like
Like
just
the standards
different levels.
of someone?
Yeah. Um, like just because someone's going through something, like it could be something like that you think is small. Like somebody could be crying over losing, I don't know, losing something, and then somebody could be crying over their dead parent. It doesn't make the other person's feelings less valid. They're still hurt over something. Just because like they're not on the same level to you doesn't mean doesn't feel that way for somebody else, you know?
Mhm. Damn, that shit makes you think because it's like Because it's one of those things where to truly be empathetic and to truly get into someone's shoes, you kind of have to change your standards for that moment too. You know, like if you're with somebody that has higher standards and you did them wrong and you want to understand what they, you know, what they felt,
Yeah.
you kind of have to look at it in their eyes. And so many people are like, well, it doesn't matter what you did. If they did something worse, then it's it's unforgivable
Yeah.
type thing, you know?
Mm.
But with me, I feel like there's always a cause to an effect. You know, like if I just yelled at you right now and got mad at you,
Mm.
like people would take that and be like, oh, like he's just a douchey person, you know? But what happened? Like what caused that?
Yeah.
And it's just like, do you think today in like relationships in general, like it's just hard for people to understand each other and to get where they're coming from, to communicate in general?
Yeah. Communicating is, I feel like it's always hard in relationships. Um, it's hard to find somebody who wants something the same thing that you want. Um, well, especially in the gay community, the gay community is very different with relationships than the straight community.
Yeah.
Um, the gay community is like all about hookups. It's just hoes everywhere, I should say. But I feel like with straight couples, the guy typically does not talk about his feelings. The guy typically like just doesn't communicate, and then it leaves the girl kind of like stuck. So I think it does play a problem in like straight relationships and gay relationships. Just people always want something different than you want, and it's just that it never just works.
See, I wanted to ask you about that too, because I was on Facebook and just social media in general, and they were talking about how in the gay community, like relationships are just seen differently. Like as a kid, you're just over sexualized too.
Yeah, if you look up couples on Google and you go to the images, you'll see just straight couples kissing, holding hands, hugging, you know? If you look up gay couple, you'll see porn, like just on Google, like literally straight up porn.
Just
It's
straight up.
straight up porn. It's just over
Mhm.
sexualized to the max. And it's crazy, but it really is like that.
But why do you think that is? Is that just the psychology of how they go into relationships?
Maybe guys usually tend to be more hormonal, I guess. So I feel like that does play an issue. But also I think it goes back down to like sex ed in like in school. They'll teach you about they'll teach you like I remember just learning about pregnancy. I think we had chemistry. I think we had health together in junior high. I'm not sure if you remember.
With what's her name? What's her
Miss
name?
Snell, I think something like that.
Yeah, yeah, Miss Snow, Miss
Yeah,
Snow.
I think we had
She was
that.
the PE teacher or something, right?
Yeah, I just remember really learning about like pregnancy and just like anatomy. And when it came to like actual sex talk, it was just about staying abstinent and just not even like engaging in those type of activities.
Mhm.
So like with gay people, you're kind of like left to like learn by taking risky behavior, like just engaging in really bad things, you know. There's a dating app for gay people. It's called Grinder, and it's just hookup oriented. Like it's just about that. It's
Mhm.
straight up just that. And that's how most kids learn about gay things. And before it's too late, they'll get STDs, and it's like they're set up to fail. I feel like you don't learn these things. Nobody really cares to teach. They don't teach um, gay things in like school. Like so, like they're kind of like forced to like learn on their own. And it makes it pretty tough.
Is there? Do you have like hope and that the community will change? Because I know in the in like in my relationships and straight relationships, I feel like we're going down a downward spiral to the point where who cares about values as long as social media sees that we're happy, that we're having sex. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get into like a hookup culture as well. And it's like, and it's just hard to find someone that is on the same page as you.
Yeah. Um, I, it's so like bad that people use social media for validation all the time. Like it's not a good thing. Like social media controls somebody's relationship. Like it's not, the relationship is supposed to be between two people, and they'll bring in like social media as like the third, I guess. Like it's like
They
it's
have to see where we're going and doing.
it's not healthy. I feel like social media is cool, but you don't always have to post everything.
Do you do you think of someone not posting you as suspicious? Like, do you need the validation of someone posting you or someone claiming you on social media?
I mean, it would be nice, but I feel like it's something that shouldn't be that necessary. It's something like you can't force somebody to post something that they don't want to. If they
Hmm.
don't want to, you shouldn't like be like, why don't you post me? Like, let them be. But um, at the end of the day, if you don't trust the person, why are you with them? Like, you're just wasting your own time. You're hurting your own feelings. You should just, if you don't trust them, just move on.
I think you can't really build a good relationship if there's no trust.
You cannot.
Like even if you have, because there's so many relationships where they're like, oh well, I trusted him a week ago, and like I still kind of trust him. I'm trying to trust him, but that's the same thing as kind of having no trust because it's kind of just based off of hope,
Yeah.
you know?
It's music these days like really like glorifies subculture. They glorify cheating. They glorify all that, and people need to realize that like rappers, singers, they live a different life than we would live.
Mm.
They do things that wouldn't really work out for us, but we try to like live up to their standards. So a lot of people engage in those type of activities more because of, I feel like, music these days. Like um I know a lot of like, I listen to a lot of like female rappers, and they're always talking about like just scamming men, things like that. um I mean, good for them. They can do what they want. I'm not bashing them, but I feel like it influences a lot of younger people, and they shouldn't be listening to the music. Period. Like, it's adult music, but you can't control what a kid does, so it's kind of hard. I feel like most musicians should use their platform to like for better. I feel like it's getting old.
I think like yeah, like when they make songs, it's just like it's kind of creating or it's rooted from a gender war, because there's dudes just rapping about drugs, guns, bitches, just fucking as many bitches as he can. Then you
Mhm.
have girls that's talking about their pussy and like scamming men, like you said, and playing dudes. And it's like it's gonna polarize us even more, where it's like, oh, I hate all men, I hate all women
Yeah.
type shit, and you kind of and just that viewing, just that viewing of saying like fuck all men, fuck all women, it's gonna lead you to like a dark ass path to where you're not gonna know who to trust and you're not gonna want to believe in what anyone says.
Yeah.
And and I just wanted to ask you this, like since we're on the topic, what do you think about the movement of kill all men?
I mean, sometimes I could like understand, but I feel like it's also a generalization. A lot of people do that a lot. They generalize, they stereotypes. It's just a huge thing.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like um, not you can't base every single person on like just one experience you had or a couple experiences you had. Not everybody's gonna be the same. Everybody's different.
Mhm.
Uh, I've met some really nice men. I've known some nice people. Um, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like all I have to say about that. Like, you can't generalize too much. people judge too easily.
When I first heard it, like when it first came out, I was kind of like what the fuck? Like, what do you mean kill all men? And like I was low key pressed. I was like, what did I do? You know? But then I had to understand where they were coming from in a way, where they were like, no, we don't mean all men are bad. But what we do mean is that if you're not bad, you gotta expose the ones that you do know are bad, and you gotta help us do that. But at the same time, it's like, okay, can you like rephrase it then? Like, kill all men. Can you just change it to kill all? I'm not even kill. That's kind of like I didn't think like just I don't know, fuck those piece of shit men or women, you know?
Yeah.
And I I kind of think of it kind of as the same as the All Lives Matter movement, where it's the All Lives Matter. I feel like it just like you're doing that just to get the Black Lives Matter movement mad,
Yeah.
you know, because you know exactly what Black Lives Matter means. It means like yeah, everyone matters, but right now we're struggling, and we need you to know that we are struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like All Lives Matter is like, nah, fuck that. All Lives Matter. I don't give a fuck. Like it's just at one point generalizing stereotypes do help in a way where it brings awareness, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you can't generalize a bunch of people because some people would take it the wrong way and you'd be like, okay, now I don't like you because you said that. Um, so there's this thing that came with the news recently about how cancel culture were canceling Dr. Seuss books.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
I kind of read into it, and I kind of just knew Dr. Seuss like Dr. Seuss is the person, because like he would make racist comics, you know, about Asians and Black people, and but I don't see the point in canceling it and getting it banned, because it's like we need to see that part of Dr. Seuss. Like we need to see we were racist 40
There,
years ago.
it's just a way of like just making history not seem as bad as it was. They're literally just trying to cover up the bad. It's not good to do that. Disney, by the way, like some movies that came out a while ago, I think Dumbo was one of them. Like if you were to play Dumbo on Disney Plus, before the movie starts, it'll give you a warning that the movie contains like political views that were like insensitive. Like it gives you a warning that some of this might be racist, but we kept it for like awareness and things like that. And I feel like that's what they should have done with Dr. Seuss. It's like it's you can't just push that aside and forget that it happened.
Do you think cancel culture in general is good for society?
No,
Or do you think it's gone to a point where it's like, what the fuck?
so as you know, like I like Doja Cat a lot, and she got canceled by the whole fucking world. And as I was like reading through all of that, a lot of people just go off of like what one person says. Somebody says she was racist, right? And everybody believes that, right? Nobody's gonna look into it because they don't care. And that's what people do in cancel culture. They don't look into it more because they don't care. But they're gonna follow the public opinion, the most popular opinion, and it's that like she was racist or and like just they do that a lot. They just nobody cares enough to actually look into what's happening, and it causes a lot of problems. And it's so ignorant. It's not. It's a form of hate basically, and I feel like hate is a form of self projection, and you're projecting your feelings onto somebody else. Like I always see that. I think homophobic people, honestly, I feel like they're low key gay because they're just trying so hard to like not accept the fact that they are, because why does it really matter what gay people do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um it all just comes down to like just hate and not caring and not being understanding.
What happened with Doja Cat? Because when I heard the news, I saw that she was in I don't know, from like some group chat with like these. I mean, I don't know if they were racist or not. I didn't really watch the
They were
clues.
white people and they just assumed because that they were white that they were racist. There was also black people in there though, which makes no sense. There was also no proof of what happened, but everybody was believing what happened. She did say the N-word once, but you know, she's black. Um, a lot of people did get upset over that, and like that, that's understandable, but it shouldn't have been as big of an issue as it was. Um, but there's also like a double standard between men and women, where women always have to put in twice as much work as men do just to reach the same level. You can see that a lot in music. I feel like some rappers, male rappers, they'll pull out like the bare minimum, like they'll like give you like a track that's like just so simple, right? And some females, they have to like do like everything. Like when they perform, they have to do whole ass like carnival performances, you know? Men will just literally just be on stage, like, you know, with their mic and just walking around. And like that's it. Like there's just those double standards, you know? You can also see that with pregnant couples. Like if a man is changing a diaper and like somebody takes a picture, like it'll blow up. Like, oh my God, that's so cute, you know, like that's the bare minimum.
Like he's being a great father type shit.
Yeah, but a girl will like do that like day and night, 24/7, and nobody praises her that as much as a man for like doing it for one picture. So there's like that double standard, and people did that with Doja Cat. It just they treated her harder than they would have any other men. For example, like I like Tyler the Creator a lot, but he's like he'll go around saying the F word and things like that.
Mhm.
Doja Cat said it once, and she was canceled, and like people just did not like that. And it's like okay, like where's that energy for like other people? It's just like people pick and choose who they want to hate on, and it's unfair.
Do you think like when people are saying the F word or the N word and they can't, like let's say they're not gay or not black, do you think they should just be ridiculed for that? Because I feel
Um,
like they can't get slack. They have to at least get like, yo, like you can't say that shit, dude. Like
yeah.
learn, you know?
Um, there's definitely many different ways of approaching somebody who does that. You could ridicule them, you could educate them. But you can't educate someone who doesn't want to be educated. You can't force someone to think the way that you think. Some people are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. But it's like it doesn't cost anything to be nice. It's obvious that that word hurts a lot of people. Those words hurt people. It just it says more a lot about a person who does say it. Like it just shows that okay, you're an asshole. You should like why like it's so just insensitive. I feel like it just be respectful.
I think as someone like, and I bet you know this, that has said the N word in junior high school, just because like that was the culture, you know, like that's how you're supposed to speak. I feel like the older I get, the more I learn. It's like shit. I need this. Like I can't say that because there's so much history into this part of the word, and I know it's words are just a mixture of sounds, but it's like you can't invalidate the feelings of the people that were oppressed,
Yeah.
you know. And at the same time, there's gonna be people that are like, oh, that word doesn't matter, you know, it's just a word.
Yeah.
But I think what would be good for society is just, you know what, let's just like those people that can't say it, just try to at least learn. And if you want to keep saying it, keep saying it. But that's on you,
That's
you
on you.
know.
Yeah. Like the First Amendment, you have freedom of speech, but that does not protect you from the consequences of what you say. Um,
Mm.
um, but I was also gonna like say that like I forgot where I was going actually.
Um, I think with cancel culture, what they do is that they don't provide a way to get better or change.
Yeah, no.
You know,
People need to realize that like celebrities, they're also people, and especially when they like get famous young. they're gonna make the same mistakes that we make, but theirs is just more public. It's more
Hmm.
so everybody could see, and people will hate on it more because it's like self-projection. Like it's to make themselves look better or feel better. Like they'll hop on
Oh my God, dude. Like,
like Black Lives Matter. That when that was going on, the protest, um, it was more performative for a lot of people. It wasn't really like they actually cared, but it was more performative because it was what was popular. Most people didn't care as much as they said they did, and it's like that in like that situation as well.
do you think with the protest for Black Lives Matter that the look there was a part of the protest that was a riot? Okay, do you think that was okay to where they were burning down businesses and like schools and
Some businesses,
stealing and stuff?
some businesses I know did not deserve that. There's some things that were bad, but also like they needed to bring more attention. I guess a lot of people are not going to care unless they see that they're serious. I don't support how they burned a lot of like small businesses. Target though, like that could bounce back the next day easily. Um, but like for example, for gay people, the Stonewall riots. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that, but
No.
it was. I don't know too much, but I know that there was a transgender black woman. She was her name was Marsha Johnson, I think. And I remember they were protesting and they were throwing rocks at like this wall, like they were just like stoning it, and like it turned into a big riot. And I think that's why we have pride festivals now, because like it took that for people to like start taking us a little bit more serious. So like in some ways it's not right, but it they had to get attention somehow, I guess. Like the
Like you
Capitol
need
riot, that was not it.
like you need that part of fire to kind of bring attention, I think.
Yeah, but like the thing is like the Black Lives Matter, I feel like that's justified. I feel like they've been through enough to like have all that hate built up. The Capitol riot, that was not that I feel like that wasn't justified.
With Black Lives Matter, I feel like the people that were there for the cause, you know, actually there to protest because of the killing of George Floyd. I think those people, you kind of have to separate those from the people that were doing the riots, you know, and they're just
The
stealing.
people doing those were white people as well. They were the ones throwing bricks. They were the ones making the most damage too.
And there's a protest. I don't know which one it was, but they found out that there was a member of a police force that was actually burning down buildings in the beginning. So that you know he could be like, oh, like
Yeah,
let's do this shit, you know, because he kind of wanted to project a bad light on the
yeah,
protest.
yeah, they do that to incite. It's horrible. They'll place also piles of bricks nearby so people will start picking them up and throwing them. They do small
Mm.
things like that to make it worse.
I think you're right about how the burning the buildings and businesses was a bad thing. You know, and when it comes to Target, yeah, you're right. Like they can bounce back, but I feel like the workers there that were there working for their family, and that was the only source of income, and now they got to move to a different location, like 20 miles away or something. I think it brought attention. It did, you know, it did. It was all over the news, but not in the good way. It just
Yeah.
made us more polarized. It just gave them a reason to be like, look at those people bringing up businesses and stuff.
But like you just said, also I want to point out that like there's different perspectives to every single situation. You know, like
Mm.
the perspective of the people who were burning in the building, there was a perspective of the people who were in the building working, you know, like there's different. And like that also makes me want to say like you should always be nice to people because you never know what they're going through. You never know what their perspective on life is, you know? So it's like just be nice because like you don't know what someone's going through. You always gotta be careful with that.
Mhm.
Somebody could be having a really bad day and like something you say or do could like do that for them.
Now with the Capitol riots, that like don't even get me started. This is the most like some people don't even realize how bad this is.
It was
Like
horrible.
all Trump did that day, Trump said these words. He said, because that day I think they were gonna vote on the law, right? Vote on the election to
Mhm.
confirm it. And he told them, he was like, get in there and show them that you're not afraid or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, do you realize what this dude did? Like he literally told and these people, I don't mean to be rude, but they're not as educated as
Yeah.
other people. Let's get that
A big
straight.
part of privilege is when problems don't affect you and you don't see it. So they just it's ignorant.
And and once he said that, you have this whole group coming in from different states. There's this one dude that came from Utah. I saw on the news about how he's wanted or some shit. It was like a month ago. But you have all these people coming from different states coming to the Capitol, and they're just coming with flags. And that one lady changed the U.S. flag for a Trump flag. Like she switched it out, put a Trump flag. Do you know how crazy that is? That's like Nazi type
Yeah.
shit. And then you have these cops and they're taking pictures with them, being nice with them. There was no like that was completely different from how they acted with Black Lives Matter.
Most definitely.
And it's literally the privilege is showing. And then a month later, we're like supposed to forget about it. Like on the news, there's nothing about it now. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing talking about it now.
yeah.
And it's like we didn't give them the same amount of criticism as they gave us during the Black Lives Matter movement. And I honestly think this is just the beginning. Like Trump is fucking like you don't know what like if he said right now to go fucking storm your capitals, they
I,
would do that. They would
yeah.
listen.
The quote. It's literally a quote. Um, at the Capitol riots, they were gonna hang Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi. They were looking for them because they wanted to kill them. They had I don't know the name of it, but like they had it outside. It was like this wooden thing where they were gonna hang them. And I remember it, do you know who AOC is?
Yeah, Alexandria Cortez, right?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
She said that she also had a moment there where she was fearing for her life, but I guess she wasn't allowed to like talk about it because like security issues with that story. But people were there to like try to kill people, and people don't talk about that a lot. I feel like it's so like out of the picture, but they were trying to hang somebody. They had the machine outside, and like they were looking to harm people.
And to think just like 2 weeks before that happened, Mike Pence and Trump were like the leaders, you know, like they loved Mike Pence. But once he forgot what he did, didn't he say that the election results are how they are, like Biden won or something like that? And then
They wanted to get him and Nancy for being traitors or something like that.
but Trump said in his speech, no, in a tweet actually, talk about how Mike Pence is a traitor or something,
Yeah,
or talk about how Mike Pence did him dirty. And the fact that now they switched from glorifying Mike Pence to now we're gonna hang him. Like what caused that? Do you think? Like that tweet obviously caused that,
yeah,
and
but
people are like, no, you can't blame Trump. It's what the people did, you know.
I don't even white people just not all, but I guess like they don't they're so ignorant to like a lot of issues. They're just so tone deaf, and it's a lot with the privilege that they have.
Do you think it's how they were raised or how they
It does
listen?
depend, yeah. I know, like I think yeah, because like it's how their parents were raised as well. How like they also grew up during those times. Like for example, my dad, he was alive when Ruby Bridges, she was the first black girl to attend an all-white school. He was alive
Oh
during that,
yeah,
you know, like she's 65, 66, I think now.
that was like only 60 years ago, right?
It was
70.
it was about yeah, and like It's just crazy. But where's I going with that?
You're talking about Ruby Bridges.
Oh
Um,
yeah, like they'll make pictures in textbooks black and white to make it seem like it's long ago, but it's not. It's like recent history, you know? Um, most gay people don't even have all of their rights yet, you know, like it's like they make it seem like we're so progressed, but we're still like taking baby steps.
is it? I think it's Alabama that had a law against gay marriage, or was it against abortion? I forgot what it was.
I'm not sure, but it sounds like both. Pretty sure it was.
And and then I also want to ask you this because this is also recent too about how Utah they banned transgender people competing against um, women or men. You know,
Mm.
no, actually, it was banning them from competing against the genders they switched to in sports. Do you think that's fair? Like, do you think they did it in a wrong way?
I don't think it's fair. A lot of don't people are very like transphobic or people are homophobic, you know, and like it doesn't make sense why someone is when they don't understand what that person is going through. You don't understand their issues, what's going on in their head. So why, like, it's not an opinion anymore. It just turns into hate. And
Mhm.
there's like transgender people are people, and they people should just be more respectful. I don't think it was fair to do that. You know, it's like invalidating their whole existence.
I feel like as well, when it comes to that, it's like it's kind of hard because you have so like let's say you have a male athlete in wrestling
Yeah.
and he decides to transition to become a woman and they let him compete against other women. I think it's kind of like a I feel like the women that were wrestling would take that as like a threat because it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't compete against this dude because men are biologically stronger upper chest. You know, women are stronger. I think it lower legs. They have a different balance. So I think when it comes to that, it's kind of it's not safe because you have these people that will definitely overperform. There was a
Yeah.
there was a girl in the MMA. Uh, she was a man, but she transcend. She was 30, I think, when she transitioned to be a woman, and she went into MMA. And she didn't tell anybody that she transitioned. She was there for 5 years. She was obviously, you know, like winning everybody. She was undefeated. And then like news came out like, oh, like you were biologically a male. And for 30
Yeah.
years, that's like you went through puberty, you have the testosterone. And just the way she was just winning, like it was it's kind of scary to see because she was like demolishing
Yeah.
these other women as a woman. And when it comes to that, I think you should be transparent, you know, because it's just not fair. It's like if you have LeBron James transitioning to become a woman, going against women in the WNBA, I think it would just not
No,
be
yeah.
fair.
See that as well. Um, but also like I know there's women that are capable of competing against men. I know that in some sports like wrestling, strength is a big part, but also it's like just being very technical, being able to get out of anything. Like you also got to be able to like know how to do what you're doing. And um I've seen little people take on like people twice their size and like still come out like victorious, you know, like it's there's a lot of different ways into looking at it. It can be very unfair, but it's like yeah, it should be transparent. I feel like
I think because at the same time, like girls can compete with guys in many things. And if they want to, like, let's say this girl wants to go play football, I think if she really wants to, then you should let her, you know,
Yeah.
because that's what she wants, and she shows it like in her work. You can go. Um, I think Utah in general may have been. I mean, I didn't really look in the law and see how they banned the transgender competing, but I think they could have been more thoughtful and maybe let them still compete.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or at least like find someone that can compete. Like why are they even like putting up like unfair like fights to begin with? There's like in UFC, don't you have to be a certain weight class to go against a certain person? Like
yeah,
it should be more fair in like many ways.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, so I see it as a way of like you kind of have to see how it goes down before you make an action. You think?
I think so. Like we're all learning, we're progressing, so it's obviously like there's gonna be a lot of like ups and downs with like the way we progress. But like there's some progress, not a lot of progress. Like there's very little bit, but like it's we're we're at least more evolved than we were like 10 years ago with a lot of things.
I think it's crazy too with like just transgender and gay rights. Like just right now, like Obama was the one that legalized gay marriage, correct? That was
I think so.
probably less than a decade ago, you
Yeah, not
know?
that long.
And then Trump banned transgender people from being in the military. Now it's unbanned, I'm pretty sure. But that was basically like not even 4 years ago. So you have these civil rights movements, not even like that old. Like this is that's in our backyard type of thing, and do you what do you think has to be more transparent to straight people like me and like people that don't know much about gay culture? Like is there anything that we need to learn or we need to fix?
I just think that people should be more understanding and like be more like careful the way they approach a situation. A lot of people just it just takes a lot of understanding and putting yourself in their shoes and how they feel. Like a lot of people are just tone deaf, it's just people just need to be careful. Um don't be so insensitive. It literally $0 to just be nice. And a lot of people don't realize that. I remember like um when I was like younger growing up, a lot of people would call me gay. A lot of people would like make fun of me. And like since I was like so young, like since kindergarten, I think people were always like, you're gay. And I was like, no, no, I was so in denial. And when I finally grew up, I feel like I never really decided, like, am I gay? Am I straight? Like, what is this? And I feel like everybody else kind of decided that for me. So then I was like, kind of like, okay, maybe I am that way. So like, um, yeah, I kind of like feel like I was like heavily influenced just because of the way people like viewed me. And well, now that I'm like where I am now, it's kind of like, like I don't know, like uh I associate more with being pansexual than I do being gay. But I told a lot of people say I'm gay, so like I was like, yeah, I'm gay. But I feel like people didn't really like let me like decide that on my own because just everybody was like just making fun of me. Um and like a lot of people were just very like people just don't understand. I guess at that age it's obvious like a lot of people aren't gonna know, but like a lot of people would make fun of me and I would like just laugh along with them. But like deep down it was like kind of hurting, like, okay, like you're laughing at my existence. So
Mm-hmm. So you think you were pushed into this box where
yeah,
okay, I'm gay, that's it.
yeah.
Like you tell me I'm gay, I'm gay, that's it.
Yeah, but like it was not just like one person doing it. It was like over like years of like that happening. I remember being like at least four when like my cousins, like they got like a camera and they were recording me and they were making me say things like I'm gay, or like things like that. Like they were just like making fun of me. Like it just started like so young. Like people were just like kind of like shaping me like and doing things like that.
Yeah, I think now that you are sure on like where you're at, like you're pansexual. I think lots of people they don't really know their sexuality. Like
What?
most homophobic people, like if you ask them, like, are you straight? They're like, yeah, I'm straight, I am. You know, like I'm not gay. No, no way. And I think you could just kind of tell people who are questioning because of how offensive they
Yeah,
get.
yeah. It's
And and I feel like when you meet somebody that just knows, okay, I'm straight or I'm gay or I'm bi, they're not gonna judge you because they know how it is to be in your shoes.
yeah, exactly. I've had a lot of straight people come to me and like just confide and like tell me like, hey, like I'm like questioning myself and like just things like that. And like, I feel sorry for them because kind of like growing up here where we are, like a lot of people are not okay with it, so a lot of people are so scared like to even find out and like it gets really bad for some people. I remember being 15 and homeless for a bit, so it was like it's tough on a lot of people.
Wait, so you were homeless at 15 and you were just like,
Yeah.
so like, what did you do? Were you bouncing around house to house?
Yeah, I remember like there was like a school night that I like slept like I was falling asleep on a curb, like far from my house. Like it was just, it was a wild situation. I moved with my cousin for a bit. I was staying on like his floor and then I moved into like my mom had gotten into like a car crash. I wasn't talking to my family at this time, but she got in a really bad car crash and I guess she was like unresponsive. So they had called me and they were like, "Hey, your mom's in the hospital. Like, could you come?" And then my cousin had drove me there and like she like recovered and like she asked me to like move back in with them and I was like, whatever. So then I tried it out again and then um I was living with them and we were living at their friend's house or like family friends and I was staying in like the living room. I was sharing the living room with my little brother and like the lady's son. And like they were pretty homophobic also, so it was really hard. I think they're changed now, but like back then like I remember them writing on the fridge like no faggots allowed. And I was like, oh, that was hurtful. Like it it was tough growing up because I was moving around all the places. It's been hard for me to like keep some friendships. Like I've just been all over the place and just been tough.
What what like major event in your life do you think really like opened your eyes and made you think like, holy shit, like this is what made me, you know?
Oof. There's so many. Um there's literally so many. I feel like I've been through a lot, but like it's to the point now where I'm so nonchalant about like a lot of situations that happen. Like if somebody like will like hurt me, it's just like, oh, you too. Like it's just like I don't really care as much anymore because I know that that's how people are now. So I feel like now everything that I've gone through has made me like more okay with things going bad. Like it's just like okay, like this is normal. Like I don't get hurt anymore. Like I mean, yeah, like I have feelings, but like it takes more for me to hurt. I feel like I have thick skin now.
Do you think like that helps? Kind of like the coarse skin, like my shield of my emotions. Cause like from what I'm hearing, you're like you have this shield where it's like whatever you do, sorry, like whatever you do won't affect me because I'm in control of my emotions now.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't say I'm in control, but like I usually don't let people have the power to hurt me anymore. So, I mean, and then like people will like I've been told like I can get really sensitive, but it's just like I don't know, I'm just not okay with like racism or homophobia. So like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna be mad with that, but like I feel like I'm not that sensitive. I feel like maybe you've even seen me in situations that have been bad for me. So like, I don't know.
I think when people say, I mean, I haven't really heard, "Oh, you're sensitive" in a while, but I think when I have heard it, it's like you're not taking into account what I feel about this.
Yeah.
Like you're not caring about how how I perceive it, and and I think that's such an argument. Like if you tell someone that is openly racist, like, can you just stop? Like you don't know what you're saying. They're like, oh, it's just a joke. Don't be sensitive. I think there are jokes. There are
Mhm.
racist, homophobic jokes. There are um, racist, no, I should like Mexican, African jokes that are funny. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd be
There
like,
are things that it's like that's like I get your objective. Like
yeah,
this isn't a joke. Like you're just hiding it as a joke.
yeah,
Because there's a difference between comedy. Because comedy is just basically laughing about our pain.
hmm,
Laughing about what we go through. And then there's hurtful jokes that really isn't funny. You're just covering up with like a laugh at the end.
yeah. That that's happened so many times. Honestly, like no, like you've been there, you've seen things happen. Like I think you were there the day that everybody found out that I had a boyfriend. I think I remember you were the first person I seen. I
Was
looked over
that
and then it
in
was in the main
in
hall at Kearns.
was that freshman year though? Or was
That
that
was
sophomore?
sophomore year. But I think that when we first met in seventh grade, I had told you something about being bisexual, but I don't remember. But um, I
But
remember like I got kissed and then I looked over to see if anybody had seen, and I seen you like, and then like everybody else was like,
I was like, what?
and then
No,
I
but
just heard,
like
oh,
no, but at the same time, I think most of the people that knew you in junior high were like, okay, we kind of know. Like
yeah,
we already know, we see it. But just let him
yeah.
express it himself, don't push him. But I also think that I was insensitive in lots of occasions.
Everybody was. But people grow, people learn. Some people learned. Some people are still kind of, I don't know. Like some jokes that I were made were not even that funny. Like I remember just minding my own business, and then people came up and then they were like, "Don't breathe the air. You're gonna catch the gay." So I was like, "Okay." I don't.
Um,
But
I do know. Wait, so was that your first relationship with another man,
no.
like openly, or was it?
I had a few before that a few people had known about, but not that many. But this was like my first like open. Yeah.
What what did you take away from that relationship? Because I feel like everyone has those relationships where they take something away from it and they learn from. You know,
Uh,
like
I
what are your emotions on it?
it was I'm thankful that it happened. Like I'm very thankful. But like it did make me learn a lot. It did make me I feel like grow up faster like mentally. I think like straight off the bat in that relationship, it was like so toxic and I think everybody knew that. Like it was not good and just like straight out like from the beginning like it was just I was put in like really bad situations like right away and I feel like I learned so much more. Like I learned like just a lot. By the time I moved to Horizonte, I was really like more on my own. I
Mhm.
was like always like just on the streets. Like I was never home. I was just walking around downtown or just any city I could get to. Like I would take the train everywhere. And like I had a lot of like experiences with like homeless people, like just scary situations that like I feel like really like made me learn a lot. Like that relationship like made me see a lot of things differently. It made me like question people. I don't know. It's just it put a lot of things into perspective for me. Um, you kind of learn the hard way that people care less about mental health when you're a male. People take things lightly. You know, you're if a woman gets abused, it's all hell. If a male gets abused, it's like, oh, you're a man, like suck it up. You know, people don't really care. Just like that.
You're right. I think like with guys and mental health, it's like we kind of had this stereotype of, oh well, you're so privileged that this little thing isn't supposed to hurt you. You know, and I think at the same time, I've done that to myself. Like just recently, I um I ended a relationship. Well, the relationship ended like a month ago, right? And of course, I was in my feelings, you know, because it's just an emotional process. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I was telling myself, like, dude, it's not worth it. You know, just don't cry. Like, just man up. And then I realized, like, dude, that's not because, like, I don't like pity. Like, when I tell someone my problems, I don't want them to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad for you. Like, I want to know the solution. Like, if I'm
Yeah,
sad, tell me what I can do to not be sad. Because that's what I don't want to feel like. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be sad. I just want to be at peace and
you're a psychology major. Just look at your notes.
happy. And it's just,
Got the answer there.
and and that's actually partially why I wanted to be a psychology major, because I want to know more about me. And like right now, what we're learning is just chemicals in the brain, but I know it's our brain is more than that, more than just chemicals. Um, and it's like I just want to know myself and know other people because I
Yeah,
don't want to. Because I hate feeling like the bad guy, feeling like I did something fucked up.
yeah,
I want to self evaluate and realize, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm sorry. What can I do for you? You know,
yeah. So that's
and
good.
how can I get
You can
better?
admit it. A lot of guys don't admit it, and that comes down to like toxic masculinity. You know, a lot of people just it's it's horrible.
Personally, there's there's some things that I know where I didn't admit that I did wrong. I would just lie and act like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Then at the end of the day, I would be like, oh shit, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I'm lying about what I just did.
Yeah.
That's not good for me. So I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I know what I did.
Mm.
And I'm gonna try to get better because I can't just hide what I did. I can't just share my story and hide what the fuck I fucked up. You know? And what do you think is toxic masculinity?
It's just like being growing up like as a male. Like because I remember having to try extra harder than other boys to like prove I was manlier. You know, and it's just like the whole boys don't cry stereotype. It's that whole like, no, I'm a man, I need to do this, and like I like I know somebody that's like so horrible with like his wife. Like he's like, nah, go make me a sandwich, go do this, go do that. Like I'm the man, you do this for me, like you work for me basically. And it's like it's I feel like toxic masculinity is those men that think they're just so above anybody else. And um it's just not it's not good.
You know, it's because I want to learn more about this topic because my viewpoint is like I don't think there is a toxic masculinity. I think it's just an asshole, like just a rude person. Like you're just rude.
But it all comes down to
But
because you want to
also,
be look more as a man. That's why. That's why it's more like toxic masculinity. Like that's why you're an asshole because you're trying
because
so
it's
hard to prove you're a
rooted,
man.
because it's rooted into masculinity.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like
What do you,
I've told people like many times like you're not a man if you got to try that hard to prove you're a man. Like you're not a man per se.
do you know what? Okay, actually, that we're on the topic. Do you know what actually strikes me? that could be toxic masculinity. It's that there's these videos and TikTok videos where it's like, I can show you how to be an alpha. Like, stop being a beta. Like, here, this is what you need to do to stop being an alpha. And I just look at those and it makes me cringe. Because it's like the fact that you're listening to another dude to show you how to be an alpha, that just shows that you're not one.
It's a lot of insecurity and vulnerability. Honestly, they're not sure of themselves.
No, it's sad because they kind of prey on the younger generation. Because I feel like every man goes through a phase or just they're insecure, or any person in general, they're insecure. But then they see this video of like, oh, how to be more confident, how to be more alpha, like how to stop being a beta. And it's like they don't realize like what it is. You just simply have to know who you are, you
Yeah,
know?
literally, you can't. People try to fit certain molds, and it's just not okay. It's the same thing with beauty standards nowadays. You have to fit in a certain category, have to look a certain way, and it's just
And it just breeds like the same, and it's just so wrong because you see on social media, people are all trying to achieve this look. They're all trying to be this person. And it's like, as someone that wants to date somebody, I'm not gonna go for someone that looks like the rest or acts like the rest.
yeah.
You know, I
Um,
want someone that's different.
Beauty standards are like the worst thing I think ever. I've struggled with this since I was, I think, maybe 6 or 7. I've struggled with anorexia and eating disorders. Like it's always just been horrible, and it's just because like they want you to look a certain way, and it's just
How was it when you had to struggle through those eating disorders? Was it so
it's
as someone that hasn't experienced it, is there a way that you can like explain it to me how it feels and like what you go through?
it's it's like body dysmorphia. I remember like when it started because like I was a little kid, and I guess I was chubbier. I was a chubby little kid, and
Mm.
my parents nicknamed me, or no, my uncle nicknamed me after the Chavo del Ocho.
Yeah, so.
They
But which character?
um there's a really obese one. His name was Botijas,
Is he the one in the suit?
I think, and he's just very like big. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so they nicknamed me after him. My family still calls me that. Like that's what they call me. They don't call me Carlos. And I feel like that's where it like really started, and I just stopped eating, and then when I got into elementary, I seen that there was like skinnier kids, and I was like, oh no. I remember sitting at lunch and like just looking down like at my thighs and seeing how like they would like expand because I was sitting down, and like looking at the kids next to me and they took up less space, and I was like, oh, like um that was like always just like a problem. And like it's basically just like not eating for like a long time. It's like fasting all the time. It's horrible. Do you know what body dysmorphia is?
Mm, I'm, from what I know, it's like you look in the mirror and you don't like how you look, or is it more than that?
Like you s- you have like a altered perception of what you look like. I could look
Oh,
fine to
okay, okay.
somebody else, but I could look in the mirror and be like, no, like you're too fat. You look at this, look at that. Like it's like
Mm.
being constantly like super hard on yourself. I've had moments where like I'm like passing out, or like just go days without eating, and it gets really hard. And like it also has like it messes with your mental health because you need certain like nutrients, you need certain things, and like it clashes.
Do you think there's a way where an overweight person who wants to get healthy, because if you're really overweight, then you know the fat surrounds the heart. You can have a stroke, you can have a heart attack. And someone that truthfully wants to get healthier, do you think what would be a good way for them to lose weight without feeling these insecurities of wanting to fast for a week?
I think that there's fasting is just not good, and a lot of people do it, but like I feel like it all starts with habits. Yeah, better honestly, like you need to have a better diet. You need to it starts with things small like that. People expect change to come like so quick, and like if they don't see results like in a few days, they'll give up and just keep going like, oh, it's no use. But like it's something that you need to be consistent with. People don't do that. You just gotta really watch what you're eating. Processed food just really ain't good for you.
Mhm.
I try to, but it's hard to like it's hard to do it when you don't have the right money for it. But like see, like they set you up to fail. You know, you go to McDonald's, a cheeseburger is $1. You know, it's so cheap to eat junk, and it really has a lot to do with your mind. Like what you eat really has to do a lot with what you think, and you really need to get out of that. And there's also like a perception that like like people are lazy people. Like I feel like there's no such thing as lazy people. There's always more to a lazy person. It could be mental health issues that make them like this. It could be certain things. Like it's you should never call someone lazy. You know,
Do you think we should change lazy to unmotivated?
unmotivated, maybe. That could maybe come off as kind of insensitive to some people, but I feel like maybe it's just someone that it should just be someone who like needs more support. Someone you should just be more. You should just see what's wrong with them, see what's up.
And I heard you say that you don't like fasting, that you think it's a bad thing. Do you think it's completely a bad thing?
Well, it's not healthy. I really think it's not healthy. I know people do it for religious reasons too. I'm not religious. I've never been religious, so I don't really know why people do it for that. But it's not a good way to lose weight. I should have took my own advice, but like it's like it's not good.
Because
Women, that like women that like suffer with anorexia and eating disorders, they can lose their period, and they just won't get it back, and like there's a lot of issues that like come with that.
as someone that I personally love self improvement and I love working out and I love eating healthy. I think if you're fasting for the thought of I want to lose weight, then it's bad. But if you're fasting of the thought of um, releasing the toxins of your body and being more alert, because fasting, like there's scientific studies where it's the same as water. Like so, if you're on a water fast, you don't eat for a day. Maximum, I think it was 3 days. So don't go past 3 days of fasting, and you just drink water. But you have to make sure you're healthy. Not everyone can fast because it's bad. Um, you become more alert, and body um, your body antioxidizes all the bad toxins in your body, and it kind of just flushes your system. You know, so I think fasting is a good thing. But if you're
Mhm.
fasting for a wrong reason, for you're fasting, oh, that model is skinny, it's because they don't eat. I don't no, don't follow that. Like you have to eat. And it's like,
It's bad because like there's people like the Kardashians. I a lot of people like hate on them for like their plastic surgery. I feel bad for them because like there was something that was like upsetting them that made them go through all of that. Like I don't, people can get plastic surgery. I'm not saying you can, but like there's some type of feelings that they had towards themselves that made them make the change. But like what makes me like upset is that Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner, they'll go on Instagram and they'll promote like weight loss things. They'll promote things to like shape your body, and they're like, this is how I look this good. But really it's like, no, you paid thousands of dollars for surgery. Like they're like selling these things to like they're promoting false advertisement, and it's making little girls like just struggle, even little boys.
I didn't think about it that way because I don't really follow any Kardashians. I don't really like. I'm not into that. But
But like a lot of girls do that though. Like a lot of like celebrity female celebrity influencers will do that.
where they'll like get surgery and then they'll post workout videos and
Yeah, they'll
flex
do
this like fit tea, slim tea or some shit like that.
things.
It's because
Kim Kardashian promoted a lollipop that like things like that, you know, that make you lose weight.
Wait, what did it do? The
I guess it
lollipop.
like takes your appetite away. Just makes you not hungry. Yeah.
What the fuck?
And you don't eat.
But then
There
that's
was
promoting fasting for the wrong reasons. Like,
a Barbie toy that I seen. I remember watching like a documentary about um like beauty standards, and there was like a Barbie toy that it was like a whole set, like it came with like accessories, and there was a book that said how to lose weight, and then on the back of it it said don't eat. Like that's a little kid's toy. Like, come on.
wait, they sold that in stores.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Like I saw a picture of it, but as far as I
Oh,
know.
my Wi-Fi is unstable for some reason or something. I think it's good. But I mean, because I do see Instagram models where they just come out of the blue and now they're working out and now they're promoting like these teas and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't really like I'm not really in that culture of like Instagram models, but if you're a little girl and you're watching these girls and you're not comfortable with your body, like I feel like you think, oh, this is a one-way ticket to that body. Like if I just take this tea and do like
Mhm.
3 squats every day, I'll turn out
Yeah.
like that. And it's just giving them this false reality.
My little niece, she was like I think 3 at the time, maybe 4. I remember I was like with her, and then she looked down at herself, and then she was like, "I'm fat," and then she just started crying, and she started crying so much. Um, and it's like she has TikTok, you know, and like you'll see all these skinny people, and like she was just crying, like she's 3, 4, like you should not be crying over how you look.
She's 3 to 4 years old.
She just looked
How come
down. I
that's
remember
just fat?
down at her stomach, and she was like, "I'm fat," and like she wouldn't want to eat. Like it gets bad. People
See, I
don't
have
realize
this. Wait, about what? Sorry,
people don't realize
what's
how
the
it's
question?
harmful, like just those
Just
beauty
all these
standards.
things. Cause I have this cause my little brother, he's he's chunky, like he's on the chunkier side,
Mhm.
and he has these behaviors that I had as a kid because I was also chunky. And what I would do is like I'd sneak into the kitchen, grab a bite, you know. Oh, lunchtime, I'm eat my lunch. And then after lunch, I'm gonna get a bite, like a cupcake or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's just unhealthy where you're just snacking. And I can see his like he's doing the same thing. You know, he's going back snacking. And when I see, I don't want to say anything. And then, but like it's getting to a point where I kind of don't know what to say because I don't want him to get any health issues. I don't want him to.
I feel like maybe just try replacing with more healthier options. You know, maybe like instead of using chips, tell them that there's grapes. It's like the same thing, you know?
Because he tells us, well, back when school was in session before COVID, that he would get bullied because he was bigger than every other children, than
Yeah.
all the other kids. And he told us, and we would be like, transparent with him, like, you are, but that's not bad. You can change if you want. If you don't want to, it's cool. But he's like, no, I'm skinny. So it's like it's also scary because he's not. All right, so we can't let him just lie to himself to where, oh, I'm skinny. No, I'm not fat.
That
Uh, like that one YouTuber, what's his name? Nico Avocado or something like that.
yeah, it's a water weight.
Yeah, how he talks about it's water weight, and that's also really bad because now you're telling kids like you're not fat, it's just water.
Yeah.
You just have to go to the bathroom, go take a piss. Like that's not how it works. You're
Yeah,
gonna
no.
lead these kids to just eating and eating and eating.
But the
And
thing
it's
about
scary,
that,
man.
I think he's like a social experiment. I remember watching a video, and he's actually very smart about food. Like he's like super smart, and I think he knows what he's doing. And I think at the end of like what he's doing, he was gonna do like a weight loss type of thing and like be motivational. I don't know. I feel like that's what's going on with that because there's no way that he's comfortable living the way he's living. or like there's no way it's real.
You know, now that you bring that up, I'd really love that because I know he's gay, right? Like he has a
Mhm.
husband or had
Yeah,
one, and in the beginning they were skinny, happy,
yeah.
but then you started seeing the progress and they started getting more fat and they started arguing more and being more toxic to each other. And I
Mhm.
feel like if this is all an experiment, he's just all lying about this just so he can lose weight again. I feel like it'd be good because now you're showing how these habits, these little habits, can go to something bad or can go to something good.
I really hope it's that because like sometimes you'll see if you like watch a video, you'll see that it's like a lot of a show. You can tell like he's acting at some points.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen episodes where he's like literally like spitting all these like facts about foods. Like he knows nutrition. I think he used to be vegan at some point too. Um, so he knows what he's doing, and I hope it's that. I hope he's not actually like really the way he's showing himself to be. It
Do
would be very
you
motivational for people to see that happen.
honestly? Yeah. So because I feel like lots of people aren't exposed to the idea that habits, like things you do every day, really are gonna push you to who you want to become. Because if I'm like, let's say I'm in high school and I have these habits of, um, and instead of going to school, I'm gonna just slough today, just one slough, and I'm gonna go hang out with my friend. It's gonna just turn into a habit and a habit and a habit.
Yeah, that's that.
But then again, it's also you have your choice to do whatever you want,
Yeah.
you know, and and it's hard to some people, like with people that are dealing with family members that are addicts to anything, drugs, porn, anything in general. It's like sadly there's kind of a limit to what you can do because you can't really change somebody if they don't want to change themselves. And it's fucking sad because you have all these people on social media. Like just right now, if I hopped on Facebook, there'd be people that I can tell you, oh, this person is sad, or something. This person went through a breakup. This person flaunts, flexes that he's toxic or she's toxic. And you have a, a, another pair of best friends that are actually not best friends. They're just talking shit on each other. And so you just have this social media, and people are on social media every day. They see this and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like being toxic is cool.
I don't. Those people don't know what toxic is. Let me just say that. I've been through hell, and I'm never. That's just toxic is not glorified for me. That's just no.
It's scary, man, because there's actual kids on social media. They're like, oh, if if my boyfriend hits me or let's say cheats on me but comes back, like, and I stay and we love each other, then that shows he loves me. You know, like what? Like what does that mean? And
Yeah, when you're in love, I guess you're really blind to most things, and it's really hard.
definitely,
Sometimes, though, like with toxic people, they'll tear you down, and it gets to a point where like you need their validation because they'll bring you down to a point where you're just not sure of yourself at all. You're just weak, and just have no sense of who you really are. And then it's like a cycle. Like they could put you through like the worst situation ever, but you'll still go back to them because it's like you don't know what else to do. Like their validation is everything to you.
and that plays a huge part in why I started this podcast and why I'm bringing on people just to talk about what I believe they're experts on. And it's because I want to show people like you're not alone. You have these people that can tell you how to get better. And I remember one day, it was probably like a couple days, a week after I posted that one post about how I'm starting a podcast about that one body that was found in Kearns High, you know? Um, obviously was a person who was getting bullied day in, day out, and thought that was the only way out. And I remember I I went to the gym, the rec right next to the school, and after that, I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I don't have a mic yet. I don't have a place to do it yet. I don't have all this. You know what? I just need to start it because if I don't start it, like maybe if I started this and somehow it reached her, it could have helped her, you know?
Facts. Facts.
Because like even in Utah, like Utah has the most suicidal rates in the country,
Yeah.
and you can blame it on lots of things. You can blame it on the heavy Mormon religion that's around here, or the bullying. But it's like I just want to show people like you can get better. You're not alone. Because I know there's points in your life where you just feel fucking alone. Feel like no one is there for you. Feel like no one understands you. And when you try to ask for help, people are like, "Oh, it's because you don't go to church," or it's just man up, or it's I hear you, but listen to what happened in my day, like what I went through today, and right there, that moment, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna just start this shit. Because even if it's small and it reaches 10 people, 5 people, at least those 5 people can take something away from this and get better and
Yeah.
learn stuff. And like that's why I asked you to come on here too, because I have really a lot of respect for you and
Mm.
who you are and how you became who you are. So I was like, you know what? Carlos can definitely be a great guest.
Mm.
Um, so I think that just really pushed me because it's like people are going through shit that you don't even know about.
Yeah, that's why you gotta be nice all the time. It doesn't matter. Always show kindness because you never know like what somebody's going through. Somebody could really like at school you could some like you could bully a girl and then she could go home to like an abusive family. Like she could be going home and getting like beat like really bad, and like you didn't help her day get any better, you decided to be like rude and it's just like for what? I tried telling my brother that I yesterday he told me that this girl was getting bullied because of her weight. And then I was like, you better not be one of those kids doing that. And then he was like, well, like nobody's like gonna stop. Like, and I was just like, you don't know what she's going through. You don't know what's happening in her life, and you could really push her to do bad things. I was like, I told him about the girl at Kearns. I was like, some girl killed herself at my old school. Like, you cannot, you got to be more sensitive. You got to be more compassionate.
I think we see people that are openly suicidal. You know, they try to release it on social media, and then they get love for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but then after that they're alone again. And we think of them like as selfish, like, oh well, you're just acting out this way. It's not really that hard.
Mm.
But I think you're the one being selfish because now you're just taking it to your emotions, and your emotions worth more than anyone else's, and it's and also just something. I mean, I don't regret anything in my life. What happened in my life, what I did, I don't regret anything because it made me who I am. But I feel like if I could change something in high school, I feel like I try to talk to those people that were alone at lunch, that were alone in class, that were viewed as different or weird, you know?
Yeah. Me too.
Do you think, or what's your advice for people that probably have gone through things like you, feel alone, feel sad? Like, do you have anything you can tell them?
Like you, you really like. There's more people that know what you're going through, and I feel like I know like sometimes like suicide really feels like it's like the only option. Like, but the more you connect with people, and it can be really hard for some people. Depression can really like make it to the point where you just can't socialize, you can't get out of bed, you can't do basic things anymore. And like you gotta really put yourself out there and like talk to people who know what you're going through. You're not gonna find help in a group of people who don't understand. Um, they're gonna give you the most like robotic answers, you know, and it's just you don't need that. You need to talk to a person who knows, you know, and it's easy to find that there's so many groups. Like you can join a group on Facebook like right now if you wanted to, you know, like it's like um there's people who know what you're going through. You're not alone, and there's ways out.
Is there something people that are trying to help someone they love or someone they know, but we're in the same situation? Like, what can they tell them?
Like you you really got to be more understanding and put yourself in that person's shoes if you really want to help them, you know, like um just be considerate about what they're going through, and like, you got to like you can't you just got to like see what they're really put yourself how they feel, like okay, like just imagine like what it's like for a person that's going through that, like what are they going through, what would you need, what kind of support would you want, you know, and be that for that person because it'll come back around. I really believe that it will.
Do you think, actually, do you think there's a way we can find out what a person needs? Because I know some people need you to feel for them, like empathize for them. But then there's other people that just need tough love. There's other people that need this or that. Is there a way we can
There's people that
know
do
what
need
a
to,
person needs?
people really need to push. Like there's points where you depression can get to like where you just can't function, you know, and you really need somebody to like nah, like in this right now, like you're you really need that like extra like push to really get you out sometimes. Um yeah, like it kind of really just depends where you're at, like with what you need help with.
See, it's because I feel like there's so many people, and me included, where you want to help someone as much as you can. But there's also a point to where if you're forgetting yourself and putting yourself second, because you want to make sure this person's loved, you want to listen to them, tell them everything they want to hear. I think there's a point where you can have to stop. But do you have to stop? Do you have to stop and not help them anymore so you can focus on you?
mm, no, I don't think so. I feel like you could really like there should be like a communication. Like it depends is if that person is like draining, if that person is making it actually like harder for you to like even just get better, then maybe like there's like then maybe you know like you should take like that extra step. But it's like I lost my train of thought then. Um okay, that.
Well, what time is it? 2:59. We're doing 2 hours, bro. um, shit. Okay, since this is the first episode, I just want to let people know that there's gonna be many coming soon. And if you want to come on and just talk, you are invited. Just DM me anytime. Um, hopefully next time, Carlos, we can talk in person. We don't have to be on Zoom. But during COVID, we can't really link up as easy. Um, well, I hope you have a good day, man.
You too.
I'm gonna stop the recording now.